All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome, everybody, to another video on the channel. Hope you're having a good day. So strap yourselves in for this one, lads. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of what's happening with zombies. We're going to be discussing all of the new updates you need to know about Season 1 and even beyond. We're also going to be talking about the next new map, Firebase Z, that we have been discussing at lengths in previous videos. We have an update to potentially know exactly what the map name is. In a nutshell, there are some pretty massive changes on the way for zombies, and I definitely want to make sure we are all on the same page when it does come to fruition. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're going to get through this very quickly, and I also do have a special giveaway for you guys in this video. I'm going to be giving away a free copy of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on the platform of your choice, so you can use this for yourself if you don't already have the game, or give to a friend. All you need to do to enter the giveaway is drop a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new and a part of the 93% that aren't currently subbed. It's completely free. And in the comment section, make sure to let me know your gamertag and your preferred platform to play on, and that's all you got to do. I will be picking the winner for this giveaway in 2 weeks time, so if I do end up picking you, make sure to reach out on Twitter and I'll give you your game code. But anyways, getting started here, many of you probably saw the release of the Season 1 content pack that Treyarch had put out, and this is coming with a lot of really cool multiplayer stuff. Some new operators are getting added, the Warzone merger crossovers happening with Rebirth Island, and tons of other like little features that aren't necessarily zombies related, so we're going to center our focus in on that. But Treyarch is bringing new weapons to the game that will cross over into this game mode and be available for us too. The weapons include the Mac 11 SMG, the Groza assault rifle, which has never appeared in Call of Duty yet, and also the Striker shotgun, which is the semi-automatic one that you may remember from previous years. There also appears to be a sledgehammer melee weapon that is being held by one of the operators here, and whether this one's going to be included in zombies or not as another alternative to the melee weapon, instead of spawning in with a knife, potentially you could spawn in with this hammer. We don't really know, and it's also not clear what the differences would be if you choose the hammer over the knife, but we will find out when it gets there. I think all of these weapons are going to be added in form of the mystery box. From what Treyarch developers have told me, I don't expect these to be wall weapons, as changing wall weapon locations and what they actually do is a little bit more difficult than just adding it into the box, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, there are two different game modes, technically speaking, coming to zombies as well. One of them is for a seasonal update, and this is called Jingle Hells. Now, this is going to be D Machine with a slightly different reskin. It'll have megatons with like Christmas hats. Same thing as you can see on screen with the Plague Hounds as well. This playlist will also feature a new Naughty or Nice drop, which can either have a positive or negative effect on your game, and that's pretty much all we know with that. But what's interesting, if this is in its own playlist, then technically there's room to have completely different Easter eggs buried within that subsection. And what I mean by that, if you remember at the beginning of the game, when they had the Easter egg quote-unquote soft locked, the D Machine Round 20 playlist actually had Easter eggs enabled, whereas the Endless one did not. So they can actually have two different patches going at the same time on the same map, it seems like. So potentially they've had different ideas of how they're going to implement special Easter eggs into this holiday-only playlist. There's also a new game mode which is arguably more interesting called Cranked, and this is very similar to the game mode that you may remember playing back in Call of Duty Ghost when that was around. And this game mode essentially has you on a time limit at every point in the game where you need to get a kill to reset your timer and to stay alive as long as possible. You get rewards for getting consecutive kills in the multiplayer build. So the way it's going to work in zombies, you need to essentially be killing as fast as possible or else you will die, it sounds like. Now, it's probably not going to be exactly how it plays as D Machine. There's got to be some kind of catch to make that a viable option. I don't know how that's going to play, but it sounds incredibly interesting. I should also mention that Cranked is going to be added around mid-season 1, so not immediately when it comes out, but a little bit later into it. And we're also going to be getting like different zombies challenges and other little unique game modes that are coming to the game alongside this stuff. Now, Onslaught is apparently getting some new content, and we don't know if this is specifically the new multiplayer maps that are coming along with the Season 1, which will be playable for PlayStation users only, or if they're planning something a little bit more major and to implement like new features or new weapons or enemy types or something. We're not sure yet. However, all of the zombies content that is labeled in Season 1, there's going to be that plus additional stuff that we all don't quite know about yet, so there is a little bit more to surprise us on the horizon. Next up, I want to talk about briefly the new crystal system that I discussed in a past video. Now, if you didn't watch that one, there is essentially another expansion to the raw Ethereum crystal system coming where you can upgrade your perks and your attachment selection and all that sort of stuff in the menu. Now, the idea is that there are new crystals that are different kinds that are going to be implemented in the game, and in fact, there's even textures for them that exist that have been pulled from the files from data miners and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show these to you guys, but believe me, they do exist. And the idea is that there's like legendary and epic crystals, sort of like the rarities that we already have in game. Now, Now, my theory here is that some of these can only be earned by doing certain objectives in the game, for example, an Easter egg completion, which I think is a really good idea. Besides a little bit of XP and a sense of sheer accomplishment, you don't really get much for doing the main Easter egg in D Machine right now, and I think that can change with the addition of these new crystals. If you imagine some of these epic or legendary ones that can only be obtained by doing the main quest, and then these rare crystals can be used on like significantly better upgrades for like perks or whatever they happen to implement elsewhere, I just think that this system could be expanded to reward some like higher feats of skill more. So Easter egg completions, for example, or hitting round 50 or round 100, something like that. Right now in the game, we only have raw Ethereum crystals, and you may notice that if you're already maxed out in terms of your level cap and also you've upgraded everything, you don't earn crystals anymore. There's a complete like stoppage of that. So it appears this system is going to be further expanded, not only with new perks that get added, which we know is coming, but also I think that these crystals will be obtained in slightly different ways. We have raw Ethereum crystals, there's also flawless crystals that are being added, and then of course those legendary and epic ones that I talked about earlier. And my question for you guys to chew on for a bit is, what do you think would be worthy of earning these rare crystals? I really don't think that they should just sort of come along easy in gameplay, to be honest. I think that's what the raw Ethereum crystals are for. I would actually like a subset of these rare ones that you can only do by doing something very specific in game, so that not only you get the accomplishment, but it also makes it feel even more rewarding when you do it. If you only get legendary Ethereum crystals after you complete the Easter egg, let's say flawless, for example, maybe you'll get 3 of them. I don't know. I just think that the system could go a very long way in terms of expanding the depth of Cold War Zombies, and right now it's in its infancy, and so we're going to give it some leeway there, but I really think the system could be great when implemented properly. Now, this system is not coming with Season 1 per se, but should be implemented in the near future. Now, really quick, I'm going to shift gears and talk about the next Zombies map for DLC 1. So, technically, we're not getting any brand new Zombies maps with Season 1, but beyond that, probably in February, we're going to see our first legitimate brand new Zombies experience, and we've been talking about this quite a bit, but just so everybody's on the same page, there were leaks a while back about a new map called Firebase Z, and I believe originally this game was supposed to be on disc, but was later, repurposed. That I'm not for sure on, but we do know the map is a Vietnam-based Zombies experience, and we even know, even beyond the codename, what it could potentially be called in terms of the real map. If you've been paying close attention to some of the intel in game, and specifically the ones relating to Samantha Maxis and what she has to say, there is obviously hints towards this new Firebase map in Vietnam. We all know that, but there's also intel that potentially reveals the name of the map to be called Kai San, and you can see the Kai San site is exactly where Omega Group's next testing is, and in different pieces of intel that talk about the machine and will have the map name labeled up in the top left, similarly Kai San is put in the exact same place, and so it looks like this is probably what the map is going to be called, if they have not already sort of been hinting at that. And there's even hints of another monster or another major threat that will be available on that map. Now, similarly in D Machine, a lot of you guys know around the round 45 Easter egg, you get to see that giant monster walk across the side of the map in the dark ether, and that monster is very heavily related to the lore. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about that monster and why it relates to the story, but there is a lot of speculation and clues to suggest that there's going to be a similar monster to the D Machine one, although very different inside of Kai San, if that's really what it's called. In the intel, there's also this document that kind of shows you the overview, or more or less the layout of the Firebase. Now, do not take this as a literal representation of how the map is going to be laid out, because I don't think that's what it's representing at all. More or less to give us an abstract concept of potentially what features it may have. It's also safe to assume, because this new Omega operation in Vietnam is a completely separate entity, you probably won't be seeing any megatons as boss enemies, as that specifically fits in with the lore and the atmosphere of the machine. This is probably going to have its own set of not only actual Easter egg bosses, but even mini bosses, and potentially replacement for dogs as well. It also appears that Samantha Maxis is going to be playing much more of a upfront and primary role in the Kai San map than she has in D Machine. Many people are confused as they saw the D Machine trailer and assumed that Samantha Maxis would have a pretty major role in determining the storyline, or maybe appear at some point in the map or even in the cutscene, which we don't have in D Machine, but basically she's going to be playing a lot more of an upfront role than she has in this map, at least. So I understand why people are confused, but I think that story is still being told. So wherever they decide to take the storyline with Kai San after D Machine is still yet to be determined, and whether we're going to get in-game cutscenes after this next map is also hard to say, but I'm definitely hopeful that we'll see some at least at some point point in the future. Now, finally, I do want to talk about some of the most recent updates that were made to zombies, just some like little quality of life changes that you'll want to know about. Treyarch have addressed an issue that prevented the Hunter Mastering calling card from unlocking, and I saw a lot of guys in my comment section complaining that that one was broken. They've also added general stability fixes to D-Machine, probably to prevent high round crashes and things like that. They've also addressed an issue where an ammo mod attachment would appear on screen after using the arsenal with a wonder weapon in the player's possession. And then finally, they've added icons for the Wonderfist perks that are now grayed out if you cannot afford them. So just to visually make it a little bit more apparent when you can and cannot afford perks is just a really nice thing to see. But other than that, we should be pretty much caught up with everything that has happened with Cold War Zombies and all of the big changes that are coming with Season 1 and even a little bit beyond. So let me know what you guys think about it down below, and also let me know what you think about Kaisan, the new Zombies map that is supposedly coming out with DLC 1. We know quite a lot about this right now, and so I would say we have a decent picture of what to expect. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Remember to enter the giveaway if you guys haven't already by leaving a thumbs up on the video and subscribing if you're new to the channel, and remember to let me know in the comment section what you would like to play Cold War on. If you'd like to follow me on Twitch, I stream zombies nearly every day. Links in the description below. I'd love to see you over there, but hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you all for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next stream or the next video. Take it easy. I gotta go, and peace out.